All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Elana Frank. Elana, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
And I got to tell you, I just got to get this on the record because your PR gal, Raquel Brasolo, she's amazing. She's amazing at what she does. She is like so good at talking you up because she reached out to me. Well, actually, she reached out to me before, probably a couple months ago on the quoted platform because she knew she had somebody that she was like, Kevin, I got somebody that I want to recommend for your podcast. And she did the same thing talking about him. And that was just a really great experience doing the interview with him for the podcast. And so then when she comes back, she just emailed me. She goes, Kevin, she goes, I have somebody else who I think would be a really great guest for your podcast. And then she starts telling me about you. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, you know what? She's really good at talking you up.
Well,
and
I hope so, right? She's
yeah,
doing her job, but they've been awesome to work with, and we've been able to get some really great placements just to leverage our work. So I'm glad too.
that's awesome. And you know what? What's so cool is like when you've already got an experience with somebody where she already like introduced me to a great guest. Now when they come back again and say, "Hey, I got somebody else," I'm like wide open to hearing that.
I love it.
And
Good.
well, I'll tell you, I've been looking forward to this just because of how we got connected, Alana. And we'll just start with a nice simple question to get us rolling, and then trust me, I will ask plenty more questions, and we'll dive deeper as we go along here. But we'll
Great.
just start with what do you do and who do you serve, Alana?
Sure. So I'm the CEO and founder of an organization called the Jewish Fertility Foundation,
Okay.
and we help intended parents on their path to parenthood. So
Wow.
we literally help pay for fertility treatments. We help support our clients emotionally through free emotional support,
Okay.
and then provide educational trainings in the communities that we're serving.
Wow. Wow. That sounds like just it sounds like an inspiring thing to just be able to do and just be to serve people in the way that you are. And I want to dig into that part. But first, I want to back up a little bit and like I want to hear some of your backstory. I mean, how did you get here? How did you even get into doing this kind of work, Alana?
Yeah, well, it's personal.
Okay.
I have three boys born from various fertility treatments. And we like to say journey, my infertility journey started about 18 years ago.
Okay.
My husband and I got married, thought we were going to have a million babies. We actually moved to Israel right when we got married, and we were going to start having those babies, and it did not go as planned. I'm really good at accomplishing what I want, and I was totally failing at getting pregnant. And we were also new immigrants in Israel and navigating for the first time using socialized medicine, which is awesome. It's like, free healthcare that you pay through your taxes, but it's a little bit different than America.
Uh-huh.
And different culture, different language, different healthcare system. And I'm so lucky to have been in a country that values family and healthcare because it took me about a year and a half to
Okay.
figure out what was going on with my body. But ultimately, when I understood that I needed to do assistive technology or IVF, I didn't have to worry about the crazy expensive cost in America because it was free in Israel.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
I ultimately had two children in Israel through IVF.
Okay.
But during that year and a half, there were losses, and it was very stressful with my husband. And it's just this crazy, unfair, emotional roller coaster around infertility. And then when we came back to America for my husband's work, I came with two little babies. And it was a little bit easier to admit that I had, gone through this whole infertility journey. I was very, very private and quiet for the
Okay.
first part of it. But when you have babies, it's a little bit easier to connect with other moms, I guess, to say, like, if somebody's talking about their fertility doctor or, some hormone that they're on, I could be like, "Oh, I had that experience also."
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and I was actually sitting in a baby pool at our Jewish community center in Atlanta, where I live. And I was talking with two other moms with our babies. And we were talking about how we all went through IVF and like the emotional toll was the same. But they started talking about their $60,000 twins. And oh, my daughter was only 30,000. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was shocked, truly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I didn't understand the crazy expenses associated with the cost here in America.
Wow.
And that's 11 years ago is when I got out of that pool and really started talking to anybody who would listen to me
Mhm.
about really
Mhm.
wanting to help others who experience infertility.
Wow. So that's what, so then how did it go from there to get, I mean, how did things start out for
Yeah,
you?
so in those early days, I was working another job.
And so
I've always
what year time frame would this
So
be?
this is in actually in May of 2015.
2015. Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, personally, I was still trying to have more children. And
Okay.
so I had more embryos in Israel. So I would leave my babies at home and I would go back, and my husband at home. I would go back and forth in the airplane,
Oh,
try to
wow.
transfer one, two, or three embryos. And I was failing. Like I was going back and forth to Israel and nothing was working. So I was still on my own journey, which
Okay.
sucked. It was
Okay.
hard, but I was a gal on a mission. And so when in 2015, like literally, I was like, I have this thought, I have this idea. Maybe it's crazy, but like, listen to me. Will you come to coffee with me? And I had so many coffee dates, and I would talk to anybody would tell me to talk to. So basically, at that time, it was mostly people who had their own journey to having their children. Maybe they were reproductive endocrinologists or fertility doctors. Some were philanthropists in the community in
Okay.
Atlanta. And then some, were in the reproductive space, maybe as a therapist or attorney. And those were the people who really ultimately liked this idea of
Mhm.
helping others and became my first board of directors as we
Wow.
moved on to start the organization.
Wow. Wow. And so that was in May of 2015 when
Yep.
things start happening and stuff.
Yeah.
And here we are now at the time of this interview. We're 11 years later now.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you're 11 years into this now. And so what at this point now, what inspires you most about the work you get to do and the impact that you guys are having, Elena?
Yeah, so the stage that we're at right now, we almost have a 20-person staff,
Okay.
all badass women, if I'm allowed to say that.
You are
Um,
absolutely allowed to
they
say that.
really, like, really, the things that inspire me today are the culture of an organization that I created along with an amazing team of a place that I actually want to work. And
Uh,
what's cool about it is, building up the organization from nothing. We have really been able to understand how to offer the direct services. So, like, we're good at offering financial assistance. This year, we're going to be offering about over $1 million in
awesome.
fertility grants.
Okay.
That's cool. It's really inspiring helping people on their journey, ultimately leading them to figuring out what path they might be able to take in order to have a child. In most cases, we're ultimately successful. Sometimes it's not the timeline our clients want, but that's been really the focus for many, many years is like the program. Today, what's really inspiring for me is being able to um, work with professionals who are excelling at what they're able to do. So allowing my team to have access to their professional development so that they can really run departments, run their shows, and then, be able to be making the shift with our volunteers, with our board, with our staff, that today we're really a fundraising organization.
Yeah.
We've figured out how to run the programs. Today we are really empowering everybody who's working or touching our organization to help them be a part of transforming people's lives by but being a part of fundraising, maybe as a donor, but also maybe as a volunteer.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what is some examples
Yeah.
of results that, and you don't have to name names here or
Yeah.
anything, but what is example of some results that you guys have just helped people get that you're incredibly proud of, Alana?
Well, one of the things that I am so proud of is the fact that I share how my third child came into this world. So
Okay.
for 5 years, as I was growing the organization, I was struggling. The first part of my journey, having my first two kids, was hard, but
Mhm.
the 5 years having my third was hell. And my husband and I decided that we were going to try to adopt
Okay.
because IVF is really expensive in America. And also, you're putting a lot of hormones in your body and it's lots of medical procedures. And so we're like, you know what, let's try to adopt. And today in America, it's not like there's so many babies on the street. The foster care system's a great place to turn, but there was a 3-year wait list in Georgia for a baby.
Okay.
And so we were just struggling. Ultimately, because of the work that I do, I had helped a intended single mom years ago find sperm. Okay, that's what I do. I answered the call. And she called me a few years later and said, I'm done growing my family. I have two extra embryos. Sure, no problem. Let me see if I can help match you up with intended parents that work for you. I do that. And I was trying to adopt. Another adoption failure came along, and ultimately I was like, hey, what about me for those embryos? And she's like, done. And so I share this story a lot because today I have a 7-year-old from that process. And it's through embryo donation that we were able to complete our family. That's not have you heard about embryo donation before?
I have not.
Right.
No.
There's so many amazing ways today to grow your family. I was able to carry him, but he's not biologically related to me. He has a brother and sister out there. Today, modern families are just so cool. But because I speak of that publicly, and maybe even on your show, people reach out to me and say, hey, I have extra embryos, or I would love to learn more about the embryos that you can help us potentially match with.
Mhm.
And through that process, we've helped bring in 9 babies into the world.
Wow.
And it's just so fun and it's so cool and it's a lot less expensive. And it's just like a beautiful way that is really personally one of my favorite things to do within our organization.
Wow. And like, you know, my wife and I, we have 7 kids, and we have definitely had miscarriages along the way, 3 of them. And I don't think a man truly understands what a woman goes through when a miscarriage takes place and stuff. And our daughter, one of our daughters has had miscarriage, and then now they just had a new baby 14 weeks ago and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Congratulations.
yeah, and it's a lot. And so I mean I can just only imagine how incredible this must make you feel, Alana, just knowing the impact that you're having, not only on these just women and but just the families that, and I know that we ended up adopting too and stuff. And because we're just like, we and now, man, it's just amazing to think because Abby, we adopted her when she was 3. She is
Yeah.
now 15. And it's just like she's been a part of our family just from the get-go,
I love that. I love
and
that.
and so I'm hearing all the stuff you're sharing, and I'm just like I get, as a guy, I'm getting like a little bit emotional about it because I know what we've
Yeah.
been through,
Yeah. You
and
know, we always say, like, I love to think of like infertility in a pie chart, and people always think it's a woman's issue, but it's only actually 25% female, 25% male, 25% the male and female together that isn't working. and then 25% is unexplained. Often the women are the ones who are, physically dealing with
Yeah.
everything, right? But like men are very much a part of it. And so we've, of course, we're offering free support groups and a free fertility buddies program to the women, but we also have male support. And like, listen, my husband didn't want to talk about anything with anybody while we were going through it. It's not for
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
but we do have very well attended men's support programs. We have men's fertility buddies program because you're going through your own thing. It's
Sure.
number one, how do you support your wife? But
Yeah.
you're also going through your own thing. We even have intended grandparent support because I'll tell you, the moms who want to help their children and the dads,
Yeah.
oftentimes they don't know how to help support. Also, they're going through their own thing because you know, they're not having their grandchildren. They're
Yeah.
not like they're going through the loss as well. So we
Totally.
really want to make sure that the men are also feeling
Yeah.
for it.
Wow. So now, from where you're at right now, your vantage point, you're like 11 years into this. What's your vision going forward for this, Elana?
Yeah, so we started, like I said, in Atlanta. Today, actually 2 weeks ago, we just opened up our 11th office in
Congratulations.
Houston. Thank you. And, I still have to say no a lot. And we've been very mission focused
Mhm.
for these past 11 years, which has benefited us. We've
Mhm.
been helping individuals and couples on a community level. Today, we offer some national support as well.
Okay.
But we, if you're calling us from Oklahoma, like we don't have financial assistance and grants to support you. You can join
Okay.
our national support, sure, virtually. The World Wide Web is an amazing thing, but we're not going to help you financially. And so the no's hurt a lot. But what we're doing right now is really trying to help scale our programs nationally. So we're in 11 communities. We're talking right now with 14 more communities in the US. And we're really hoping today we're a $3.3 million organization. We want to be a $4.5 million organization by 2030. And that will
Okay.
really allow us to help more people across the US.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is an inspiring vision, Alana. That is an inspiring vision. It's got me thinking about stuff. And so, well, okay, so now that we've got some context set here, and people have a little bit of an idea of who you are and what you're all about, I want to shift gears just a little bit, and I want to start talking about the relationship side of all this.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so
Yep.
much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? I'm just really
Yeah.
excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Yeah. I mean, relationships are everything. And I think that I'm a person who really can listen and then take action. So I'm like really
Okay.
good at the action part. And
Okay.
so in 2015, during those coffee meetings that I would have during the early stages of building a 501(c)(3, a nonprofit, I was listening a lot, and people kept on saying, you're in Atlanta. Bernie Marcus, who started the Home Depot, is from Atlanta. He has a huge foundation. The CEO is Jake Heyman. Like, you really need to talk to him. He
Okay.
wasn't prepared day one to answer my phone call. Like, we were babies. We were not even a fully set up organization. We hadn't proven ourselves yet.
Sure.
So after about a year, one of my board members, she's like, I think you need to reach out to Jake Hayman's wife. I know her. Talk to her. I listened. I acted. I took her out to coffee. I shared the vision. I shared where we are in the progress of starting this organization. We started raising baby dollars to be able to distribute money out. And she's like, gosh, Ilana, like I have this dream too. Like I think this is awesome, like what you're doing. And I was sharing really the steps that we were taking at the stage of early stage of starting a nonprofit. She's like, I think you're ready to talk to my husband. And to me, oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
11 years later, we joke that she said, I'm going to make Jay sleep on the couch until he returns your phone call. But the truth is building those real, genuine, deep
Yeah.
connections
Yeah.
allowed me then for Jay to return my phone call
Yeah.
and be able to pitch the concept to a major philanthropist,
Yes.
who was mission aligned, of course, but they basically allowed me um, for the past 11 years to quit my job, focus on this as the first CEO full time,
Yep.
and literally changed the course of my life and created the Jewish Fertility Foundation.
Wow.
Today, they just funded us a $3 million gift for the next 3 years. And again, we're at this, after year 10, like we're a big girl organization right now.
Yeah.
We're, a
Yeah.
medium-sized nonprofit, a Jewish nonprofit, and they have been along the ride with us, and it's just really changed the course of what we're doing for both the Jewish
Yeah.
community and for people on their path to parenthood.
Yeah. You know what? A beautiful testament right there to the power of right relationships. That, you had just this friend of yours that was friends with this gentleman's wife, that was, I can totally get you guys connected and stuff. And then through that, the two of you just made this connection, and it led to like, oh, I'm gonna get you, you're ready. You're ready to talk with my husband and stuff. And I mean, the right relationships, the right conversations with I mean, I often talk about, what I do is just kind of get the right people together to have the right conversations for the right reasons. And that is
Yeah.
exactly what you just mapped out right there. That's what happened. They saw the vision for what you were wanting to accomplish. And they're like, yes, I want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of this. And that, man, what an incredible story. What an incredible story. So, I just want to make sure because I got more questions, but if there
Yeah.
was anybody else you want to honor, I don't want to trample over that. I want to make sure if there was that you get the opportunity to do that. Or
No, I think that's my favorite story.
okay, okay. So, what is an example of a situation where you personally got to make this really substantial impact, maybe even in the moment, maybe it even surprised you a little bit. And yet you also know that would have never been possible if not for your relationship with these people that you were just talking about and stuff. What's an example where you were empowered in that way?
Interesting. That's a good question. Hum, I'm trying to think. Wait, was I supposed to prepare for that? Sorry.
No, no, because
I'm trying to think of like
I didn't give you any advance notice, and this is
No,
just
it's fine. I want to think of a example. Come back to me. Come back to me on
okay,
that one.
okay, okay. Well, so we've talked about your vision and stuff. So for anybody that's listening to this and just kind of thinking to themselves, wow, I just really love who Alana is and how she shows up, and they get your vision and stuff, and maybe they're thinking like, wow, maybe she can help us, or maybe we've got some friends that they might be able to help and stuff. Any like website info or stuff that we can share with folks?
Yeah, so we're at Jewish Fertility Foundation.
Okay.
Website is .org, Instagram, Facebook, Jewish Fertility Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty Googleable, if that's a word.
Well, there and I'll of course I'll make it nice and easy too, because all you gotta do is just scroll down a little bit. We'll have links down here for you. And
Perfect.
so, is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
Yeah, I just want to remind people, we're the Jewish Fertility Foundation, and our services are are free. Our emotional support groups are open to anybody, regardless of faith,
Okay.
background. You can get yourself a fertility buddy no matter where you live and what you're going through. We really want to make sure that you feel supported on this crazy journey. And
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah. Well, Alana, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today and just share from your heart and stuff. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I am excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I
You
appreciate it.
bet. You bet.